6-year-old girl that lived in Denver, Colorado. She lived with her mom and dad and her younger brother. Everything was perfectly normal until the day after Christmas of 1996, when John Bennett Ramsey was found brutally murdered and raped in her basement. This is her year before she died. How could this have happened to a perfectly normal girl? Well, according to the Issues and Controversies database in their article of Children's Beauty Pageants, John Bennett Ramsey was not a normal girl. She was a prestigious beauty queen from a very wealthy family. Now, because she was a beauty queen does not justify her murder, but many critics believe that that could be a main component as to why she was kidnapped. This is an extreme case, but this does make you wonder whether beauty pageants are hurtful or good. Today I'm going to be talking about the negative impacts of beauty pageants and what we can do to change them. You've all seen shows like Here Comes Honey Boo Boo or Toddlers and Tiaras, and these make beauty pageants seem cool or cute, but in reality they cause a lot of harm to children. Even though I'm not an expert, I've done a lot of research, so I feel like I have enough information to persuade you to take a stand against beauty pageants. First I'm going to be talking about the history of beauty pageants, the impact it has on children, and the ways that we can change them. To begin with the history of beauty pageants. In 1921 is when the first beauty pageant ever took place. It was by a hotel owner, and it was for adults, and 7 adult women were fighting for the chance to become the first Miss America. From there, according to the same database of Issues and Controversies, is when the kids started doing beauty pageants in 1961. There were categories like there were in adults. It was like swimsuit and formal wear and casual wear. After that, beauty pageants evolved into glitz pageants in the 1980s. Glitz pageants are where girls look like this, and they have extensions, fake nails, fake hair, makeup, all the glitz and glamour. From there are 3 types of beauty pageants. There are the glitz beauty pageants, which has all the makeup. There are the hobby pageants, which has either natural or makeup if they choose. And then there's the natural beauty pageants where no makeup is allowed at all. Now that I've discussed the history of beauty pageants, I would like to talk about the impact it has on children. The first negative impact it has on children is the psychological and emotional problems that it has. The first point that I have is that by Dr. Cartwright, who wrote an article for Psychology Today, she described girls to have princess syndrome when they were involved in pageants. Princess syndrome is when you have unrealistic expectations to be perfect, and this could cause body dissatisfaction and even really bad disorders like anorexia. Another thing that Dr. Cartwright talked about when it comes to girls in beauty pageants was the amount of pressure they were under. There's a pressure to be perfect and pressure to do well. So this leads to tears and tantrums and fits and all sorts of bad things. And even the pressure to feel loved by their parents, because when parents put so much pressure on their children, they feel like the only time their parents love them is when they do a good job in their pageants. Now that we've talked about the psychological problems that come with beauty pageants, the next problem is the cost. The pageants are very, very expensive. The entry fee is $1,000 alone, and the dresses are $1,500 to $2,000, even though some mothers say that they spent up to $12,000 on one dress that the daughter wore one time. And this does not include travel fees or hotels or makeup or coaches or any of that. So beauty pageants are a good way to empty out your savings account. The next point that I have is that beauty pageants over-sexualize and turn young girls into adults too fast. As you can see in this picture, there's a lot of things wrong. There are hair extensions, false eyelashes, fake teeth, caked on makeup, spray tan, and very revealing outfits. Now, this is not typical wear of a 6-year-old girl. Not only that, but here are many before and after pictures of young girls, how they transform into normal-looking girls, into these very glammed-up girls that they really don't need to be beautiful. The next thing is that not only is their outfits or makeup really revealing and sexy, I guess, it's the talent that they do. most of the time for talent, since they're so young, all they do is put on a costume and do a little dance. And so in this clip that I'm about to show you, it is a very interesting clip of a talent that is not so appropriate.
Here comes Pretty Woman, Paisley!
They dressed Paisley up by Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman as a prostitute, and I would never, ever.
Right, as you can see, this young girl was dressed up as a prostitute for her talent. That's obviously not appropriate for a 4-year-old girl to be dressed up as. Also here, as you can see in this picture, this young girl was dressed up as Sandy from Grease as she was at the end of the movie. Not only was she wearing skin-tight leggings and a crop top, but she was also smoking a fake cigarette. Obviously portraying smoking is not cool however old you are, but it's definitely not cool for a toddler to be pretending to smoke. In summary, now that you have heard the negative aspects of all that is beauty pageants, I hope that you agree with me that changes need to be made. Some changes that can be made is completely banning it, like Anastasia wants the U.S. to do, but a more practical way is, like Dr. Cartwright said, and that is just to give the daughters unconditional love so they don't feel the pressure to be perfect, and balancing out school and pageants so that the girls don't feel totally overwhelmed by pageants. Now that you know that there are changes to be made and the negative aspects of beauty pageants, I hope that you take a stand and hopefully beauty pageants can change for the better. Thank you.